I like big buttes and I cannot lie. As some other brothers can't deny. When the earth folds up in an itty bitty place to a round thing in my face, I get sprung. We're recording. Howdy, partner.
Greetings.
Welcome back to another tale of Notier's Frontiers.
This is what happens when you go to Idaho.
Yeah. Bam.
Nice. What do I do?
You get on and then you go, whoa, this is awesome.
Wow.
There you go.
Hey everyone, thank you for coming back to Notier's Frontiers channel. In this series we go all over the world on our KTM 1190 motorcycle, and we are currently on a journey up to the very top of Alaska.
Yay.
Last time we covered the state of Idaho, coming over to where we are now in Boise. And as you can see by the saddle behind us,
We're in cowboy country, folks.
We sure are.
Yeah.
And we're staying with our really good friend Brandon Lever, who has done a lot of cowboy work in his time.
You want to see me open it?
Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Strawberry rhubarb cobbler.
Oh my goodness, you cooked it with coals.
Yeah,
like baked it.
Cornish game hens with potatoes, carrots, and onions.
Oh my gosh, we're the luckiest people ever.
Yeah, and you've headed down to Baja a couple times and worked with some real life rancheros. What do you call them?
Vaqueros.
Vaqueros.
Yeah.
So this is your motorcycle. Does she have a name?
It is Yeti.
Yeti.
Because it's white. Yes. And it's indomitable, abominable.
Indomitable, abominable. I love it.
So he's been an awesome host, just an awesome person. Forever thankful. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. And he's about to embark on his own round-the-world adventure on his motorcycle with his partner, Catherine.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to go around the world
I'm
on
sure
this
hoping so.
motorcycle.
Been waiting a long time.
Cannot wait.
But he took you out on a dirt bike day.
Yeah.
So Tim's going to have a little fun day of riding off-road with Brandon, and I'm gonna stay back and do some stuff on the computer. He's getting all prepared right now.
He's got a son-in-law, Dylan, who rides dirt bikes, and they got a couple toys as well that they go on some of these, you know, single track and off-road stuff and are crazy. That is just a whole riding style that I am not used to or accustomed to or have any experience whatsoever. I've been to like 25 countries, put like, you know, 100,000 miles on bikes, but maybe 20 miles of off-road on a little small bike. So
Right.
I was excited and nervous at the same time. Just a different beast.
So they took you out to a place called Black's Creek.
Yes.
And it's actually not that far out of the city of Boise. And apparently I say Boise wrong. I'm trying to say it correctly.
Boise.
I always say Boise, but maybe that's just the Chicago in me.
No, that's how you're supposed to say boy and then Z.
I think
Boise.
it's Boise.
Oh, it is Boise.
Mm-hmm.
Boise now. Oh boy.
Oh.
Yeah, so they took us out. We unloaded the bikes and we, you know, started to go up these hills.
And you've been on tons of dirt. I should say we've been on tons of dirt, but it's been on a giant adventure motorcycle, 1190, so that's nearly 1,200 cc's with a whole lot of stuff on it. So it is a very heavy motorcycle.
It's two different riding styles. You know, I mean, we go slow and steady and don't break bones. And a lot of these hills that we were going to, you know, you got to have speed. You're going down crazy slopes. You're going up crazy embankments. And so it was a different realm, to be quite clear. I was on like a little 250. I think there was a 250 and a 400. And, you know, I tried one at first, but man, it was like riding a lawnmower with like nitro. about our bike is, you know, controlled by CPUs, and there's traction control, and you can't lift the front tire up, and
it's got its gizmos.
It's got gizmos and gadgets to not do everything that you're supposed to do on these rolling hills, and it's just night and day. Strange right off the bat, because, you know, I hit the rear brake and there's no like traction control, you know, it's just the rear tire wants to slide out automatically.
Oh, wow.
Just something that I'm not used to.
Is it supposed to do that?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Because there's no like traction control, there's no like, you know, ABS, if you will, you know. When you're skilled, which I am not, you'd use that to your advantage, and like, you know, you can rip around turns and throw up rooster tails.
Yeah, I do see that like in magazines and videos. For
sure. But me and my life with my wife on the back, you know, there's been zero rooster tails.
Yeah, we don't do too much of that.
No.
This guy in front of me is a little bit more skilled on dirt bikes than I am, and shows the part, but I'm keeping up, pretending.
But we started to climb these mountainsides, hillsides, I don't know what they were, insanely steep, you know, single track little paths up to the apexes of these short little hills, and it was just like Dr. Seuss land. They were just these camel humps over and over and over and over again. And you got to have enough speed to go up, and you got to be going slow enough to go down. And it was very odd feeling for me.
Low-hanging branches here. Woo! But I am having an absolute blast.
But Brandon and Dylan were champions, and they're zooming around, and, you know, I'm locked up in like panic mode, white knuckling. But they were very nice and like, oh, you're doing great. And it's like, we all know that I'm not doing great.
You can imagine the suspension on my bike is just a little stiffer, being too up loaded as we are. So sometimes I hit some of these bumps and I feel like I'm going to be just shot off the bike. Bend with the knees, folks.
I'm like, hey, quick question. We got to like the bottom of a little hill, and I said, hey, Dylan, so how do you stop these things? You don't want to touch the front brake because that will lock up and you'll fall and die. And you don't want to hit the rear brake because then, you know, your back tire skids out and then you fall and die. So what is the braking mechanism that doesn't have to do with brakes on these machines? You know, and it's pretty much you're in first gear the entire time going down because you're engine braking, and then just tapping the brakes. But yeah, definitely
different.
Definitely different, but the views were totally worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean, just looking at the footage that you brought back, I was like, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous area.
Look at that. Look at this. Red hills. We were up on a little ridge, and there's all these beautiful flowers. I am not cultured enough to know what type of flowers, but I am cultured enough to know when I see a beautiful landscape with beautiful foliage everywhere.
I'm sure it's beautiful at all times of the year, but the time that you went, there were so many wildflowers and the fields with the grasses and so many different colors going on. It just felt like everything just went into bloom the day before.
Yeah, and it gives me a lot of respect for like Andy Janik with Heavy Enduro, because he does a lot of the same stuff that I was doing on his tiny bike on his Tenere, 700, and it's just a whole level of experience and advanced bike riding skills that I can admit that I do not have.
And I have a ton of respect for Susan, his fiance, who is my height. 5'3", and she does all of that off-road stuff too. She is a champion.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to be tall and a dude to do all this dirt biking. It's amazing.
And you can be tall and a dude and be awful on a small bike. And I was living proof. And again, they were very nice. And they're like, "Oh, you're doing awesome." And I'm just like, it sweats. Just like, dude, this is crazy. We did the wibbly-whops and the woobly-whoops from the Dr. Seuss little hills with the funny looking trees on top.
The whoopty-doos and the whoopty-don'ts.
And the whoopty-don'ts.
I will tell you, I'm not on dirt bikes very often. But I wouldn't take my 1190 out here, because there's some stuff that is quite difficult. But having a bike that the rear brake locks up and slides is something that I'm not very used to.
And for anybody out there who has dirt bike experience, you're going to laugh at me just because, my inexperience, but it was just a really different feeling.
But you did a good job. Apparently you only fell once.
I have fallen once. I totally biffed it. Going downhill, my right foot snagged something on the little bank, and I just threw the bike down. But I'm okay. It was fun.
I'm glad that you survived unscathed.
Yeah, I had to backpedal the bike all the way back down to semi-flat ground.
Oh, wow.
And so I can gun it all the way back up again. But I didn't have to have one of the other grown men ride the bike to the top and while I walked, so.
That's good.
Yeah. The whole time I was smiling from ear to ear. It was really, really cool. I did find it more pleasurable on the dirt, little easy valley riding opposed to the
very steep roller coaster climbs.
Yeah. But I was glad that I didn't have you on the back, because that would have been insanely scary for me.
I was glad as well, though it did sound like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I am very thankful that I was invited out to take an amazing ride on small bikes through some insanely beautiful territory.
So you had a fantastic day dirt biking all around, but then we decided that we were going to take a journey that I could participate on as well, back to the eastern side of Idaho, where the headquarters of Klim is. And Klim is a motorcycle gear company. We have been fortunate enough to partner with them so that we have Klim jackets, we have Klim pants, and I was going to pick up my pants from the headquarters there. I was
going to pick up my nice gloves.
We also have Klim helmets, and so far we've been loving all of their gear. It's super waterproof and Gore-Tex. So we wanted to check them out.
So after I climbed all the mountains up and down, going back and forth.
Today we're going on a special journey to the Klim factory.
We are off to Klim.
take a little break. Nice picnic table here. Has some shade. We got a nice field of cows over here. Pretty view of the mountains all in bloom with flowers. And look, some horses. Hi. We're on our way to Klim. Woo, it's getting windy. So we're going to the other side of Idaho and crossing Idaho today from west to east, and then hopefully we'll make it back west by evening tonight. It's going to be a long day, but we're very excited to go tour the headquarters of Klim.
Yep.
And I get my pants.
Yeah, this is exciting.
I'm super happy about that. Oh yeah, these are Tim's new pants. Woo. On the way to Rigby, Idaho, where the Klim headquarters is, we passed the Craters of the Moon area.
How cool is that?
Wow, it's old volcanic rocks that they were like lava fields. I don't know how long ago.
It looks crazy. It looks like Paul Bunyan and Blue, like, you know, dug trenches into these rocks. It was just, it looked like some large bulldozer had maneuvered the rocks into like patterns, or there's big plow fields looking things of the earth. And I was just like, I don't know what type of geological activity we're looking at, because lava flows tend to be like nice and smooth.
These were not smooth.
No.
This looked like as if the lava was kind of bubbling up in a big explosion and then kind of froze midair.
That's probably what happened. Probably on a snowy day and then went and figured it out.
Maybe. Yeah, because it is very bizarre looking. A very, very cool place to pass by.
Yeah. There's a lot of different faces to Idaho. It was really cool to see all these different landscapes, you know, from the deserts to the mountains to these crazy whoopty-whoops to the huge field of lava stone.
That was such a gorgeous ride. Headquarters are out in a place called Rigby, Idaho. It is a beautiful building. The building itself, I think, kind of reflects their design patterns that they use with all the different layers of fabrics for their apparel. And
there's just like big cube coming out. It's really, really cool. To take a tour, and they like showed us where the original headquarters were way back and how much they've expanded. And
unfortunately we weren't able to take any footage of that because, you know,
super
top secret
new
stuff
colors
going on.
Out and,
They do a lot of experimenting in there. They do wind experiment, weather experiments. They have to test all of the materials, so it got really scientific.
Lunchroom freezer was full of different armor and stuff.
Crazy, yes. So it was a really great experience, and I got to get my new pants.
This is true.
I got that. That goes all the way through. You got your new gloves.
I got my new Badlands Pro gloves to keep my hands nice and dry and safe.
So we're hoping that we're going to be completely waterproof for Alaska.
Yeah, because we know that Alaska is going to be wet. So we want to maintain and be dry. So that is the overall goal, and we've gone with a great apparel in order to make that happen.
So we made our way back to Boise. And we have been here ever since. set of adventures is something truly remarkable in Idaho.
Ooh.
I didn't even know any of these roads existed.
This is true. We had our own little tour guide.
Yes, absolutely
Believer.
mind-blowing as we take a trip to his cabin and to visit some very special hot springs.
Indeed.
So stay tuned and we'll be seeing you in the next episode. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below.
Ding dang.
And we'll be seeing you here next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace. Howdy, partners. Welcome back to another tale of no tears frontiers.
Yeehaw.
You did yeehaw.
I don't know. I'll say, howdy, partner.
I just said partner. Howdy, y'all. Hi, everybody. Greetings. I'm gonna tip your hat.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Howdy, partner.
Greetings.
Welcome back to another episode. No. Howdy, partner.
Greetings.
Welcome back to another tale of no tears frontiers. Good enough.
Yeah. Bye.